What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? You may notice this shot looks a little different because I'm not alone in my studio. God, I spend hours and hours in this fucking room. Actually, it doesn't stink right now. That's a good thing. There's been times when this room has stunk. Doesn't stink. I am here sitting beside our guy TJ in the house. He came up for our Low Bag Summit of Champions Sports Rage 25th anniversary. And it's been wonderful having you up here, TJ. How are you, my man?
Man, it's been such a blast. It's good to be here. Just to meet, those cappers at Woodbine. Spent a couple days with Ian Babano, Slatsy, Spinny, DG. I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but man, it was so fun. Oh, Newkirker, man, what a pleasure! What a pleasure of a man.
Isn't he a wonderful guy?
Everything you expected and more.
Yeah,
such a nice guy. I've had a lot of fun. Went to the Argos game.
After the Argos game, we went right to the casino and played poker there for till about 3 a.m. While Bobano was studying hard at work, and not upset at all. No, he was like, look, I got some work to do. You guys go do your thing. What a great guy. What a great group. So to everybody who traveled near and far, I know Nuki's in the chat right now. So is our guy Slatsy. He's on his way back from Montreal. 5-1 week for Slatsy in the CFL. Slatsy's dominating right now. This is Slatsy's record here. Let me just pull it up. Slatsy's record in the CFL this year off of another 5-1 week. Slatsy's 39-22, up 15.92 units.
And those are real one-unit bets.
Those are real one-unit bets.
That's a great record.
That's an incredible record. And look, he just puts out his action each and every day. Doesn't ask for anything in return. I don't know if enough of you guys are following our friend Slatsy. I'm going to pop it in the chat right there. That's Slatsy's X handle right there to follow our guy. What a treat it is to see everybody here. We got Stacks Play Today, number 1, Detroit Tigers. It is the Tigers at plus 120 for Stacks. Stacks Play Today, number 2, Buxton over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Pig Milk Play of the Day is the Cincinnati Reds, first 5 minus a half. That's what we've been talking about this morning. And I've set up to bet it at this point, minus 120, but I haven't bet it. I can get minus 113 at Pinnacle. That's a pretty big difference, so I'm still kind of deciding what to do with that, but it looks like an addition. I've made 5 bets on this MLB card. How many of you made at this point?
I've made, I want to say 7 bets so far. I did add that first 5. Well, at least I put an offer out in the exchange for minus 115, so if someone picks it up. Yep.
Josh Witt in the house. BT. Toby Lane cashes 2 plays. Lions money line. Titans money line. His play day. Chelsea and the Valks. The Valkyries plus 7. We have TJ here for Major League Baseball. He is Enos Cantor Freedom. He's not going to be here for the breakdown. Enos Cantor Freedom was kicked out of the WNBA game.
I saw that. I followed him on Twitter. After that.
Kicked out of the WNBA.
For a T-shirt. What happened to freedom of speech?
Oh, I think it was a little more than that. Light cheese. There's Morgan Spooner in the house. Bogey boy. Great to see all of you guys. Bogey boy says headed to your neighborhood on a baseball trip this weekend. Any recommendations for pregame beverage?
Dirty water.
I carry around dirty water wherever I go. Maybe I'm getting a little old for this. The pregame beverage for you should be half vodka, half water in a small water bottle, and deal with the consequences. TV Jones in the house says 2-man booth. Let's do it. It's great to see all of you guys, man. Jim Dewigger in the house. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's time to get to work. But any recommendations for a pregame beverage? Are you going to be in downtown Toronto, Bogey Boy? I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm so funny. I mean, ask me where's my recommendation for a pregame beverage. I'd be like, I think that ditch over there.
Anything on the subway is fine.
Okay. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Okay, we're ready to rock. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is wonderful to have all you guys here. Shout out to Swiggy on the 1s and 2s here, locking us down. And as I told you guys, we have a lot of news to tell you guys about our new schedule. And I'm going to start telling you guys about our new schedule here right now and about the news that's coming in. Some of these things you guys are going to like. Some of them you're not going to like. And you guys can share your feelings and everything for it. But let's start with some of the heavy news here. First, the good news. We at Pub Sports Radio are going to have live streams 6 days a week. We're going to have a live stream every single night at 7 p.m. starting next Monday. Every single night, we're going to have a hangout here hosted by a bunch of us, and it's going to be extremely fun. Live betting all the action. So we're going to have live streams even on non-NFL nights. The only night we won't have a live stream at 7 p.m. is on Saturday because our Pub Sports MMA squad will be doing their UFC thing. So we have nonstop live streams. Now, this is the final week of the Closing Line show. And this is the final week of the Nightly Bag. There will also be no Bankroll Blitz this year. I will be capping NFL games here on our morning show, and Troy will be putting breakdowns, single game breakdowns, either on our show or just on our site. So there is no full Tuesday Bankroll Blitz. I will be hosting the Morning Bag from Monday to Friday, and I will also be hosting NFL Pop-Up Sunday mornings. So there it is. Now, unfortunately, there will be no football contest this year at Pub. It became a lot of issues arised from the aroused. Nothing was aroused. When you won, I guess there was slight arousal. But a lot of issues in the just handling the money. It was just there was a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. So there's no football contest, but we will be announcing our dates for our live poker nights, our live poker tournaments. Where we'll have the live stream going on, and we'll be playing live together. We'll be announcing our dates. We're going to be doing a lot of that with Bet Online as we move forward. So there we go. That is the situation. The daily sesh, now the sports sesh, is going to be moving 1 hour back to 1 p.m. So it'll be the morning bag, the sports sesh, and then a live stream every night. So there we go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Now we can talk more about all these things at any time. You can let us know your thoughts on it. There's autonomy at Pub Sports Radio for doing what we, Jeff really believes in us and he loves you guys. So if there was things that you really wanted or were upset about, we'd love to know about it and we can change accordingly. And Billy says we were supposed to defend our co-championship in Survivor. I know we were. I got that twice. I won the Survivor.
You get to
twice.
live as forever champion.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough. Okay, great to see all you guys. Let's get to work. We have Turnbuckle Tommy's favorite pick in here, and it is Texas Chicago White Sox over 8, the Jose Urquidy game. That's something that we have been discussing here as well. I have 5 bets on the card. I have all TJ's bets listed in my notes, and it's time to get to work. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's get this shmoney, man. Get this money. We start at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The Boston Red Sox 71-59, 37-27 on the road at the Miami Marlins 67-64, 41-25 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. We have Ranger Suarez on the hill, 5-3, 3.41 ERA, 3.60 expected ERA with a 1.18 WHIP. And there's Birdie in the house.
Birdie,
yeah,
good to see you, my man.
Yeah, Birdie's wonderful. Let's go. Suarez on the hill here. Suarez has been very good this year. It felt like, he had the hamstring tightness in May. Then he suffered the left groin strain in that start before the All-Star game on July 5th, and that cost him. They put him on the IL. It cost him the All-Star game. What we've seen from these last 4 games is mediocrity. We've not seen him shoving. We've not seen him pitching at a very high level. He's getting the job done. He's going out there every 5 days, but it's not very impressive. Now they're 3-2 in his 5 starts since coming back from the IL stint with the left groin strain. The last start he went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks, 9-4 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. I wonder if the focus with Suarez is the team you're going up against hitting lefties. You know, we know the Diamondbacks are, and they got to him. We know the Jays aren't, and they couldn't get to him. So, you know, maybe he is not in complete control right now at the highest level of his that we've seen from him, and that it's more predicated on what the lineup is he's going up against, because he'll shut down weaker lineups and he'll get touched by the stronger ones. We have AM saying Sandy Alcantara 55, 37, and 4 to the under at home, 3.46 ERA, 1.18 whip, 3.66 expected ERA. He's been so good this year, man. Just a huge bounce back performance from him. Last year was questionable. He'd had a couple years of questionable performances. He's been very good, going deep into games. I mean, look at this. Look at like going through every single one of his starts here. You got to go back 9 starts for a start where he didn't go 6, and why? Because he went 5 2/3. I mean, look, and then and then you got to go all the way back to May 26th for another start where he doesn't go, you know, at least 6. He allowed 1 earned run in 4 starts before allowing 3 earned runs Wednesday, August 19th at the Phillies. That was a strong start. Now, he only had 1 strikeout, and that's something we saw from the last 2 starts. Look at the last 2 starts. Yes, he's gone 13 innings and only allowed 4 earned runs. He struck out 3 and walked 5. Is that a red flag? I'll let you hit that in a second. Red Sox bullpen 2.57 ERA, 1.05 whip, very strong. Marlins bullpen 4.56 ERA, 1.35 whip has not looked very good for a while now. When it comes to the sticks, you know, the Red Sox hit righties hard. You know, there's no getting around it. 283, 837 OPS. They're more than capable of creating runs, manufacturing runs, whether it be, you know, through small ball or you know, power. Let's get into the line history here for our first game on the board, and I'll also pull up what's going on with the cash flow. Love to hear what the cappers are doing on our first game here on the board. Let's start with the line history. This moved 6 cents towards Sandy Alcantara from plus 118 to plus 112. When it comes to the total in this spot, we saw this open as the lowest total on the board by March. Well, I guess not. The 6.5 with Wheeler and Gilbert, but that didn't come out till later. When the first totals came out, this was by far the lowest on the board. It's gone up a half run. It's still juiced to the under, but it's gone up a half run from 7 minus 115 to the over to over 7.5 at minus 105. And then when we get to the cash flow here for our first game on the board, we have 83% of the tickets on the Red Sox and 51% of the cash. 64% of tickets on the over, 79% of cash on the under. The first thing I want to touch on before I hear your analysis, TJ, is the price difference. Because after discussing this and talking about this more, if there's a big price difference between the first 5 and full game here for Marlins, there's massive price difference. The Marlins are plus 115 full game. First 5, it's a pick 'em at minus 107, a 22-cent difference. So they're pricing you out of the first 5 plus a half on a plus 115. That's not regular. Usually a plus 115, plus 120, you're well within reason to get a first 5 plus a half. This one is minus 152 at Pinnacle. I think that the first 5 Marlins are really live after sitting here and discussing it. Take it away.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, Suarez has been kind of what we expect of him every year. His numbers year-long are consistent with the last few years. But, you know, we talk about those recent starts, and there definitely are some red flags. He's not going deep at all, which with Boston isn't too big of a concern because your bullpen's so solid, and they have everyone available today. Marlins bats, you know, we can say maybe he doesn't, you know, it's a lefty-righty thing. Teams that do well against lefties get to him, that don't. They're about middle of the pack, maybe 20th over the last 2 weeks, 30 days. What I want to focus on here is, you know, Sandy at home. Obviously, we know this has been for years. 2.69 ERA at home, 4.11 on the road. 315 batters faced. He's only given up 4 home runs at home.
Wow.
You know, so he just keeps the ball in the yard, soft contact, average exit velocity only in the high 80s most of his home starts. You know, Boston has been hitting righties, but
an average exit velocity in Major League Baseball is at 92 right now.
Right, about 91 and a half, 92.
And his is at what on the?
Typically in the mid 80s or in the high 80s. Sorry.
Okay.
So 87 and a half in his good starts, 86, 88. There's one where he got 90. but he pitched really well in that game. So, we'll see pitchers on this slate with an average exit velocity in the 94s. That's something I want to target. Also, his last start, 6 innings, 3 runs, like you said, only 1 strikeout. That's a concern. But every time he has a mid to, average start, he seems to bounce back so well. He did it back against Houston after getting, only going 6. Well, I'm sorry. Against Houston, he got hit up, but then he comes back and shuts down Philly, and it's in back-to-back games. You go back before that, Colorado got him on the road, and Colorado bounces right back against the A's, goes 8 innings, 1 run in that small park. So, I believe in him here today. I'll take the better pitcher to shut down the bats. So I don't want any part of this bullpen game. I'm going to think that price difference tells me a story. I'm going to go with add Miami first 5.
I'm going to too.
Line. Yeah.
I'm going to too. Yeah, it's not going to be fun, hoping that the Marlins can get to Suarez.
Right.
That
But the market pricing you off that, I mean, a tie is probably the most likely scenario here.
It is, yeah.
But I think Miami has a better chance to have a lead than Boston after 5.
I agree, and I'm adding the first 5 as well. A big shout out to our guy Randall Sheffield. Randall Sheffield jumping in to start our week, blessing our action, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. What a guy, Randall. Thank you so much. Phantom X, Savagino, Papa Percocet. Oh, Papa Percocet. Papa Percocet.
What a name.
Oh, Papa Percocet. Oh, Papa Percocet's in his rocking chair. And Super 8 Alternate. Super 8 Alternate. And CHD said receiving the memberships from Randall Sheffield. Randall, thank you so much for your support. Means a ton to us. BJ's best bet is in here as well. Is the Mariners money line, and Spooner says the first 3 under 2.5 for him in a Lone Depot spot. I have no concern with that first 3 under 2.5. The problem, the reason why, of course, it's not on my card, and I mean maybe this is just I'm simplifying things too much, but that move towards the over initially. It's just a pretty brisk move towards the over from 7 to 7.5. And I'm sure that's more like I think it's a good bet, but I'm sure that's more, predicated on the bullpens here rather than.
And 7s are just so easy to bet overs on. But, the first 5, 4, juiced heavy to the under. There's 3.5s out there. I think it's very low volatility here early. And I just don't want any part of what's going to happen late. So, I might even consider a Boston live bet if they're down after 5.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. And of course, Spooner taking advantage of the multiple books here that he gets for 3s for us. The first 3 under 2.5 is minus 160 at 365.
It's 140 at DraftKings. I just checked it. So yeah, good bet.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. I'm going to stick with the plan here. That being Marlins first 5. Marlins first 5. We roll on to, and same with TJ. Those are bets we haven't placed yet. We move on to game 2 here on the board. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays 77-53, 34-30 on the road to the Detroit Tigers. 61-69, 32-31 at home at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Minus 3% runs, minus 11% homers, plus 1% doubles and triples, and plus 4% singles. Shout out to Matty Ice in the house. Matty Ice, great to see you. My man, Taint in the house, Taint in business. Drew Rasmussen, 13-5, 3.01 ERA, 0.95 whips, got a 3.12 expected ERA. Last time we saw a Rasmussen, he got touched up. A very, very rare occurrence. Win at home versus the Jays, 5 earned runs over 5 innings. We had so many starting pitchers who, after their first All-Star start after the All-Star break, with so many pitchers shove for 3 in a row, like more than I ever remember. And he was one of those guys, and we were discussing it last week. He didn't allow a run over 3 straight starts, and then allowed 2 earned runs at Sutter Health Park, which is
solid start.
Yeah, very, very solid start. So he finally got touched up. That does not concern me at all. He has better numbers on the road than he does at home. He's an excellent pitcher. We have Framber Valdez on the other side, 8-8, 4.35 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, 4.46 expected ERA. And Valdez has had back-to-back starts of 5 2/3, allowing 4 earned runs, 11 hits. He's walked 9 batters and struck out 8 over his last 2 starts, which is strange. The one August 12th at home versus the Guardians and August 17th at the Pirates, uh, you know, he's more than capable of stepping up, especially in these home starts. I don't have a ton of proof. You know, we had a great start July 9th at home versus the Athletics. That was right before the All Star break. Proof of concept is not that easy. And I've got a vividness bias of him pitching very well and especially getting better as the season goes on and things of that nature. Tigers bullpen 3.60 ERA, 1.14 whip. The Rays bullpen 4.14 ERA, 1.20 whip. When it comes to the sticks, the Rays are not hitting lefties. And they have no power against lefties over the last 30 days. And this is a new occurrence. This is not something we've dealt with all year. 236, 630 OPS versus lefties last 30. And the Tigers are smashing righties. They're hitting with power. They're getting on base. They're 277, 793 OPS. Sharpie says this line seems off. Raspy should be a bigger favorite in his opinion. We also, in this spot here, second game on the board, we have the Stacks play of the day on the Detroit Tigers. Stacks play of the day on the Tigers. The money line here. And shout out to our guy, Justin.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
This total has been sitting at 7.5 with basically no movement. When we get to the money line, there's an 8-cent move to Rasmussen, but there had been a much bigger one. This went from minus 125 to minus 144. And honestly, that last start and my vividness bias of Framber is what made me not want that. And so now I'm very thankful seeing the 10 or 11 cents of buyback. I'm sure there's some gamblers who are kind of nervous about what they're seeing right there. When it comes to the cash flow for our second spot on the board, here, sorry, pull this up. We have 80% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Rays. Very public. 80 and 90 on the Rays. 75% of tickets on the over, but just 59% of cash. Take it away, game 2 on the board.
Yeah, here's a game where, that average exit velocity I was talking about kind of really comes into play here. When I look at Valdez's last 6 starts, we'll say, average exit velocity is over 93. He had one good start there at Seattle where it was solid, but teams are hitting him hard. Obviously, Jimmy talked about Tampa, their struggles of late. They came home after playing at Colorado, at the A's, and I believe at San Francisco. So that was a pretty hitter-friendly road trip. They come home and they can't score. I kind of want to trust their full season numbers versus lefties, especially on the road. They get out of that the Trop, and they're a top 5 team in baseball, weighted runs created plus on the season on the road. So I think getting away from home will help them. Detroit's obviously in a free fall here. Valdez, I just don't have confidence in him. Rasmussen, not sure. Those 3 starts were really good coming out of after getting hit up into the All-Star game. But then he faces Toronto again. He had just seen them a month ago, and they obviously get to him, and we know Toronto can't hit. So a little bit of concern there. I kind of want to lean the over here. The second half of the season, Valdez has given up 276 batting average at 382 slugging. That's over his last 31 innings with 18 walks and 24 strikeouts. So he's really struggling out there. I'm very interested in the over. I haven't moved on it. I kind of want to see a little more movement, but definitely market-wise, when I capped this game last night, I was seeing minus 140 there for Tampa, and I immediately crossed it. It's just too high. We get a lot of buyback, and the books seem to be welcoming Tampa money.
Yeah.
Over 90% of bets on Tampa, 80% of bets, 90% of action, and lines moving back to Detroit. So definitely concerned. I kind of feel Sharpie here, a little bit fishy on the line. Interesting thing with these two teams, I was looking at run differential. Tampa Bay is 24 games above 500 with a positive 44 run differential. Tigers have a positive 73, and they're 8 games under 500. So that's just crazy to think about. Shows you how well the brass is in Tampa to manage those close games. I'm off this for now. I could be talked into an over.
I feel like I could give you a legitimate breakdown on both sides and both sides of the total I I think the toughest sell right now would be selling you on the Rays.
Yeah.
I think that would be selling me on the Rays. It's clear that this move back, like Justin should be pretty comfortable with this line move.
And if it was moving to the over, I would think, well, Rasmussen's vulnerable then. The line's moving to Detroit, moving to the over, but we don't see that, so it's really tough to pick here. So
I'm going to sit with all this information, which is one of the great things about the opportunity to do the morning show with you guys, copy and paste all the thoughts, and then now we have a massive card tomorrow that's calling my name already. But so,
and that's a good point there. The last comment,
Mark's
I just
asking?
lost it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullpen wise, for Tampa, their two best have gone back to back, and that's Kelly and Baker. We have, other than that, everyone's available, but those are the two arms you want to see come in late in the game, and I don't think either one goes. So that could explain a lot of some of this.
Mm-hmm. All right, nothing for me at this point, but still let that marinate. All right, I can't wait to talk about our next game, man. This is a fun one. I don't remember talking about the Rockies Nationals game so much in my life. I was talking with Spoons about it while you were at the casino. He double dipped at the casino. He went back yesterday.
Never double dip.
Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. 0% runs, minus 8% homers, plus 4% doubles and triples, and plus 4% singles. I had this card. I was pretty polluted on Saturday, and so everybody left the house, and I just drank water and capped. So I had this card capped and finished by 8. So I've been sitting with this information for a long, long time. And first off, I've been backing Cade Cavalli in every single start that he's had now for, 6 weeks. And he's never been this expensive. So let's just get off that right off the hop. He's extremely expensive, Cade Cavalli here. And then secondly, we have a lineup from the Nats that is hideous. Mm-hmm. And we remember this Nats lineup as being very tough to pitch against. The expected lineup with Abrams, who the idea that Spoons was talking a lot about last night was that Abrams is actually going to be at second base here in this game, that they're moving him from shortstop, and that's going to be...
To try to get his hitting back on? What's the...
Well, he's been terrible at short. So that could be a big blow to his confidence sitting there at second base. So that's one of the angles here for Abrams. But look at the lineup behind him. Ortiz, House, Lyle, Cruz, Ruiz, Chaparro, Nunez, and Jacob Young. Things have changed dramatically. So the question now is, can we expect Feltner to shove in this situation? And that I don't know if those words have ever gone together, Feltner and shove, but I was in agreement with Spoons on the phone last night that there's a very high probability of Feltner completely shutting down this Nats lineup. And then for the first time here, I had to decide here between two things, and tell me which one you think is more worth the investment. Is Feltner going to shove, or can the Nats actually, do I want to trust Feltner, or do I want to trust this Nats lineup? And at the price for the first 5 minus half and the full game -1, two bets that you are on, two bets that I liked very much, the line was moving towards the Nats, I couldn't get past the fact that this could be 1-1 or 2-2 after 5 innings. Because I can't trust, we talked about trying to cut out our first 5 minus a halves, basically. That it was not a situation where we got our best ROI. You're sitting there, if you have a team that lacks offense and you need a run from them, it's extremely uncomfortable. So they're, and Just says you like expensive. I do like expensive. I have no problem if it's expensive. I need a lineup that's worth the price. This whole line is predicated on just Cade Cavalli being a beast. Well, what if a 0.1 WAR pitcher could shut down this Nats lineup? So that's how I was going through everything here. Tommy says books are telling us what's going to happen. Says remember last week when the Royals were minus 200, Royals smashed. Yeah, no, look that. Now the Royals lineup did have Witt back for that and lost Cags, but no, I hear that. Look, I hear that. I invested 2 units on unders. I got the first 3 under in the first 5 under. That was the most. I got first 3 under 2.5 minus 120 and first 5 under 4.5 minus 122. Those aren't cheap. That's a lot of vig there. So that was my whole thought process without going into any stats. That was the thought process that I had with this game. So there you go. Let's just run through some stats real quick before we hear, how TJ got to the window with the Nationals. Feltner 5.97 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, 5.58 expected ERA. He's an injury-prone pitcher. He dealt with a ton of injuries last year. This year, they placed him on the IL after a start in late April with the right ulnar nerve inflammation. He hasn't been hurt since, and he's had some good starts on the road. His last start at home, he got touched up by the Dodgers badly, 7 earned runs over 5 innings. He'd had 2 road starts before that at Arizona and at the Cardinals. He went combined 10 in a third and allowed 5 earned runs. Of all of these lineups, clearly the worst lineup is the Rockies. He faced the Royals at home, allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings, allowed 2 jacks there. Cade Cavalli is bet on. He's been cashing us every 5 days. He's been so good. The fact that he was able to put up another goose egg, albeit only over 6 innings, after that phenomenal start at home versus the Cubs when he struck out 10 and walked 8 and almost, was on his way for a no-hitter for a lot of that game. So he's a beast, an absolute beast. And Spooner says Abrams hasn't played in 4 games. I don't even think he plays today. So Deacon in the house. So Nats bullpen 3.49 ERA, 1.27 WHIP over the last 30. Rockies bullpen 4.21, 1.48. When it comes to the sticks, the Nats are look at the rolling batting averages for the Nats. I mean, it's good God. Now the last 30, they're now hitting righties 227 with a 673 OPS. It's just going down and down and down and down and down. Look at the last 5 games, 174. So there you have it. A line history here. We have 14-cent move towards Cavalli. It's come back a little bit. This did make it to minus 185 yesterday within the first hour and 45 minutes that this line was available. So it's not moved since that initial move. From a total aspect, we have a full run move to the under. That hasn't really helped my early unders, right, unless it's changed now. I watched the full game moving in my bet's not moving where I wanted them to move. So let's just see what it is right now. The first 3 is still just minus 120. So I don't really like that.
Yeah, and you can do better. There's 115s out there.
Yeah, it's but I'm okay with it all. I know that that's all predicated on Feltner, and when we look at the difference, the price difference for first 5 and full game, we have the Nationals minus 186 full game, first 5 minus 195. So the Rockies are plus 170 full game. First 5 they're plus 166. So they're not saying, we were talking about that funny Dobbins start. Dobbins against was it Sanchez? Dobbins Sanchez on Friday. But I was minus 136 for the first 5 minus a half, and then moved to minus 139. When the show was over, it was minus 170. And still, they actually cashed the first 5, but it was very fortunate because they got to Dobbins later in the first 5 innings. Okay, so take it away. Tell us your thoughts. Spooner's on the first 3 under 2.5 as well. Golfing Stars fan, thank you for joining us. Take it away.
Yeah, I know it's expensive, like he already said, just to get it out of the way here. I'm definitely on Washington first 5. I got minus 130. I like where that's at right now. And full game, I got a minus 130 on the minus 1 line. Both of them moved in my favor, so I'm happy with both of those. To me, I don't have any cause of concern for Cavalli here shutting down this lineup.
Yeah.
So, that side I think we can all agree on. Obviously, that impacts your under. So Feltner is the wild card here. Can Feltner go out and shove? And what's shoving to Feltner? 2 runs?
Against this lineup, it's better than that.
Yeah.
Look at this lineup. And what if Abrams isn't batting?
Abrams has been horrible lately. So his bat out of there doesn't change a ton for me because Feltner can't get righties or lefties out. They both got an over 850 OPS off him. Let's see. In the last 28 innings, so second half of the season, he's had 17 strikeouts, 15 walks, 367 batting average against, and a 700 slug. That's a 1.067 OPS for Feltner. And on the road, yeah, it's 1 point higher or 1 point lower on his ERA, but it's still over 5.5. Even a good start for him to me is 2 earned runs allowed over 5 innings. That to me is the best that Feltner can throw out there because he hasn't done any better than that since, let's see, June at Minnesota, 1 run over 6. There's only been 3 starts where he's allowed less than 2 runs. So I have confidence here that Washington can get 2 off him, and if they get 2 off him, we cash our first 5 minus half, in my opinion. Now, why I'm not on the under is because I think he could easily give up a 3-run bomb for, a 2-run bomb. He's just home run prone, a lot of base runners. So, putting all your eggs in that basket to get through the lineup once, I can see that. I don't think Cavalli's a concern here. So
He's definitely not.
that's why I chose to go the Washington route rather than the under route. And, full game, bullpens are both fine as far as usage. We know they're not the best bullpens in the world, but I think Washington's bullpen has been better, certainly, and I think that's why we're seeing that -1.5 get bet to them as well because they can open this up late. So, yeah, those are the 2 bets I'm on.
Yeah. How many runs have the Nats scored in the last 4 games, off the top of your head?
Probably 8.
6.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. But they haven't faced Feltner. This guy is right up there with Gas Canning. But I know you love those pitchers.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get there.
Is anyone on Colorado in this game?
Yeah, Dewan says I think Colorado full game is live, but no one else has pushed the button. TV Jones saying first 5 are pass, 6 from the Falls, Washington first 5 -0.5. All right, I think we've done enough there. So I'm gonna roll on from it, but
Very interesting game for 2 garbage teams.
it's a
right?
really fun.
We're going to be
game.
watching this game.
Oh, very much. All right. Want another interesting game? We got it right next, man. This is another game that we've been talking about a lot. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox. We're at Wright Field in Chicago, Illinois. Rangers 65-66, 29-37 on the road. White Sox 68-62, 39-26 at home. We have Kumar Rocker. And I really thought he was going to have a good season this year. -8% runs, -11% homers, -13% doubles and triples, and +2% singles. I really thought he was going to have a good season this year. And he started out pretty well, pretty strong. And he's not followed that up. And his last couple starts have been okay. Now, again, that last start was at home versus the Nationals. We just discussed all our thoughts about, so maybe we don't care as much about that start. That was the first start that he'd allowed less than 3 earned runs dating back to July. In those first 3 starts of August, he went a combined 13 1/3. He allowed 12 earned runs, 21 hits. Another thing, he struck out 13 and walked 9. And that didn't change against the Nats. He struck out 3 and walked 1. The more I talk about this, the more I want to back Urquidy. But he's certainly not a simple cap here. I really like a statistical profile of a Jose Urquidy, although I couldn't take advantage of it in the Cubs game. He got annihilated in 5 opportunities out of the bullpen to start the year in Pittsburgh, got sent down to Indianapolis, and was very good. And they have just so many young starting pitchers, so Urquidy wasn't going anywhere. In Indianapolis, he started 17 games, hit a 1.05 whip, 73 strikeouts and 18 walks. And he's not a strikeout pitcher, even though he got some against the Cubs, more than everyone expected. Went over to AAA Charlotte, pitched very well once he was acquired by the White Sox. That first start, I thought was a little worse, but you talked about it, how it was just that one home run that got to him. Mm-hmm. That second start against the Cubs was a thing of beauty. Now, we saw some spectacular defensive plays in the outfield behind him, which clearly helped him. But he went 6 innings, did not allow a run, struck out 8, and didn't walk a batter. The start, he was the primary against Cubs. That was probably the most important appearance of his entire MLB career. And so how's he going to handle that? Well, this guy is a vet.
Yeah, he probably doesn't come back after that appearance if it's bad.
Yeah. This guy's a vet. This guy can, there's no reason why he can't pitch well here. Sharpie says Rocker's at the top of his list today for K-props, lineups pending, as he's out of the zone and can't throw a first pitch strike with elite chase contact. The majority of the Sox lineup swings at everything. So So there you go. White Sox bullpen 3.48 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. It's a clear advantage over the Rangers bullpen, although the Rangers bullpen's been a little better of late. And then neither team's hitting righties at all. White Sox versus righties 226.97 OPS. We have the Rangers versus righties here 219.630 OPS. And that is the situation here. So let me give you the line history and decide, do we move on Urquidy? And if that was the move, would this be a full game instead of a first five due to the bullpen advantage for the White Sox? The 8.5 was minus 120 to the under. Now it's minus 115 to the over. Obviously, we have run suppressing weather in play. And then when it gets to the total here, we have a 7-cent move towards Urquidy. Okay, so we saw that little move and then it had stayed there for a long time. It moved 5 cents at 1:44 a.m. So it's moved 2 more cents. When we go to cash flow for this spot, we have. Here we go. When we move to the cash flow, we have 73% of the tickets and 74% of cash on the White Sox. So they are public. 63% of the tickets on the under, but 76% of cash on the over. And when we look at the price difference here for first five and full game with the White Sox, we have the White Sox minus 128 full game and first five minus 133. So no, the Texas Rangers are plus 118 full game, plus 116 first five. Take it away.
Yeah, Deacon, actually, Jimmy has a very nice setup downstairs. I got a huge loft basically down there. I guess it's not a loft, basement. I don't know what you call it.
Call it basement.
Basement, yeah. It's downstairs, right? So no pigeons. No, I did get to see Parkdale.
Yeah.
He showed me where that nice apartment was, but nice setup here. So I'm sleeping well. Yeah, this one's tough, man. I told Jimmy last night, or maybe this morning, I want Chicago White Sox first five. I didn't pull the trigger yet, but I don't have a lot of faith in Kumar here. I was high on him coming into the year, and it's just been letdown after letdown. He gets rocked by lefties pretty well, and it's been consistent, 851 OPS and a 163 whip. He's going to face 7, maybe 8 lefties in this lineup, and that's Murakami, Benintendi, Colson, Montgomery. So pretty much the White Sox bat hitters that you're worried about all hit from the left side. So that's cause for concern. I think the White Sox definitely get a couple off, and it's just Urquidy that I don't know if I want to put a lot of trust into after one good, one great showing. It's not something I like to put my money behind often. So what I looked at here was, and what I think I'm going to move on, I'm not sure yet, but Circa's got a team total over 4 of minus 115. I don't like possibly not getting that last at bat. That could keep me off it. So I haven't moved on this, but yeah, I don't have faith in Rocker, and I don't know what to do with Urquidy. It's a very interesting game. It might tell us a lot afterwards, but I just don't have the confidence to pull the trigger early.
I feel more comfortable, and this is probably because it's Monday. Now, it's not like I spent the weekend, being a dad and having really nice moments with my family. We were gambling nonstop.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm like, because sometimes you lose a bit of that edge when you get there on Monday to invest like we usually do. And I almost feel more comfortable for how I want to base my capping, saying that, look, Urquidy was just spectacular. I want to buy him that high.
Right. Definitely buying high. That price is high.
So I want to fade Rocker, but also here I am just believing what I'm seeing, and then I talk so often about not doing that. So I think I'd be a little more comfortable just staying off of it, honestly, than buying Urquidy this high, even though I do believe in the soft contact that he gets. He's much like Dobnak in that regard, as a vet pitcher coming in from the minors who can't get you the strikeouts but can get you the soft contact.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if I bet it and I lose, I'm going to be more pissed off at myself that I went high on Urquidy than if I just stay off and it would have been a win. But losses always hurt more. So.
But, man, I could believe him becoming a piece of this puzzle for the White Sox down the stretch as well. So I'm going to need more time. There's Johnny Yim in the house. What
Johnny,
a great
good to see you,
guy.
man.
It was so much fun hanging out with Johnny Yim. He went down to the casino, picked up $800.
Did he? Good. It was the only way to make money that day was at the casino because we did not bet the horses well.
No, we did not. 9:38 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Guardians 65 and 66, 34 and 32 on the road at the LA Angels 52 and 79, 29 and 36 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. By the way, Rod's wife says bet against Kumar Rocker in road starts on the money line when pitching in night games. Rockers team record since 2025, 0-10. 0-10. Kelly McInnes in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you, Rod. So let's roll here. Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. Minus 2% runs, minus 4% homers, minus 5% doubles and triples, and plus 1% singles. We got Parker Messick, the Bulldog here. 2.54 ERA, 1.03 whip, 2.93 expected ERA. Guy's a beast. Home or road, it doesn't seem to matter. He just gets the job done every 5 days. By the way, I was like, where is Tristan McKenzie? He just doesn't pitch in Major League Baseball.
Oh, not even in the minors. Just gone.
Yeah. And they say it's because he didn't get the Tommy John surgery. He wanted to rehab it out, but probably more than that.
He had some filthy stuff.
Well, you'll never see that filthy stuff again.
No.
So the Bulldog Messick is pitching at a very, very high level. Very, very consistent. The first 3 starts out of the All-Star break, he allowed 1 earned run in each of them. Now, he didn't go too deep in a couple of them. That would be your only complaint with Messick, is there's not, but he's there every 5 days delivering. And you guys, look, I both Sharpie and I have gone off about Clausen when people want to look at those 2 starts in April as if they have anything to do with the pitcher that we're seeing right now. So I wanted to get into more about Clausen, because we keep it was Sharpie that told us that he was the pitcher of the month. It was for July in 2026. He was also the pitcher of the week from June 30th to July 5th. In the Pacific Coast League at Salt Lake, which is a tough place to pitch, he had 6 starts. This is before coming up here. 2.48 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. Now, he had 38 strikeouts and 11 walks. And the first thing you're going to look at in his statistical profile right now is 21 strikeouts and 18 walks at the major league level. Yes, that is a problem.
But it's those first 2 games where it was a problem.
Well, even when he was the pitcher of the month, you see 38 Ks and 11 walks. So in the last 2 starts, he has 12 strikeouts and 4 walks. Now that's much, much more comfortable there. I like Clausen. That last start was incredible at the Astros. I mean, he's just pitching at such a high level. He's so confident. And so this was very easy for me. The only concern I thought, and I was asking both you guys about, was should this be more expensive? Because this was juiced to the over. It's not anymore. It's gone down to 7.5, but this was juiced to the over. And Bet365 had the under 8 at minus 105. It was an off-market spot for Bet365, which was a surprise. Angels bullpen 3.40 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Guardians bullpen 4.40 ERA, 1.42 WHIP. Those are the last 30-day numbers. When it comes to the sticks, Guardians versus righties 229, 633 OPS. Angels versus lefties 233, 624 OPS. So I've got pitchers I trust, teams that can't hit. This is just all that I want in unders, especially if people still have a disbelief around Clausen because of 2 starts in April that have no relevance whatsoever here. That gives us an advantage. I moved on the first 3 under 2.5 at minus 120. Spooner got it at minus 118. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 130. That was really expensive. I thought about moving it down to a 4 to get the vig off, but I decided not to do that. We get to the cash flow here for this spot. We have 88% of tickets, 89% of cash on Cleveland, 68% of tickets on the under, and 82% of cash on the over. It's 7.5s now on the board, which I love to see. So we have the line for the Guardians gone from minus 145 to minus 163. That's a high watermark right now, is that minus 163. And then when we get to a total here for this spot, we have that 7.5 minus 107 to the under. So 2 bets for me, first 3 under and first 5 under. Take it away.
Yeah, I also like that first 5 under. I have a note here, wait for 4.5, hoping to get a 4.5. I can still get mine at that minus 130. It's just so expensive. But, I'm also a believer in Clausen here. The Angels are. I mean, you know that this guy was in the offseason, people were collecting his cards. I mean, this guy's going to be a pitcher in the big leagues for a while here, we hope. But yeah, I think we can put a line through those early starts as well. Here, he's looked much more comfortable against Houston and Texas.
Minus 143 is the first 5 under 4.5. At Pinnacle.
Yeah, that means they don't want you to bet it. I'm just looking here, under 4.5, minus 140 now, FanDuel and DraftKings. All the rest are 4s. I can get plus money on an under 4 at Caesars. So Definitely tempting here. The first three I'm probably priced out of right now. I'm not big in that market yet. It's something I want to expand into next year a little bit more.
Why is it only minus 125?
See, that's strange. So who's vulnerable? I mean,
But they're saying that the first five is money.
yeah,
So why would the first three not be?
doesn't make too much sense. does it?
What is it in a different book? Can you give me a first three?
Let's look at DraftKings quick. But while I'm pulling that up, long story short, I haven't moved in this. I'm interested in the full game under actually. I'd like to see an 8 pop back up or pay like a minus 125 for an 8, because both bullpens are fine. Angels bullpen's been somehow very consistent the last 2 months. Cleveland's has not, but they do have arms in there I trust, and their top 4 arms are all available today. So first 3 under in over at DraftKings is minus 130. So 125 to 130 seems to be the consensus here. I don't think the Angels can get to Messick. I kind of look at that first 5 minus a half, but I want to trust Clausen. So maybe I just pull the trigger on the first 5 under 4 at plus 100 and full game. Those are going to be possible additions to my card.
Yeah, I don't want to have 3 units on the total, so I just picked the first 3 and first 5. Sharpie likes the first 7 better. I made my first 7 bet on Friday when I picked you up at the airport. The cash, the Braves. I like the first. It's not first 7 bet ever, but first one in this year. TV Jones says Clausen versus left-handed bat scares me. I would want to know those notes if you completely took out, or give me his numbers versus lefties at Salt Lake, because those first 2 games are going to skew all of the numbers for him, I believe.
You can build a first 7 under 6 at about minus 115.
I don't know if there's it's net like I like the first 7 if you have some concern about the bullpens. I had some concern about the Braves bullpen at the time. I with these 2 here, especially with the lineups they're facing. But I like the first 7 look. Also, the Angels full game are plus 144. First 5 they're plus 131. So you can get them first 5 plus a half minus 113. The chance that they're losing 1-0 after 5, I think, is
there's a good chance of that.
2-1 or something. But yeah, let's roll on. Let's roll on. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with the spot, and I really think that when you have a pitcher like Urquidy or a pitcher like Clausen, that we have a chance to take advantage of the statistical profile, because it's not relevant. And those are the best opportunities we have gambling, is when there's a certain group of numbers that are associated with a game or a player, and you say that those numbers aren't relevant. Those numbers don't matter.
Because that's what a model can't do.
Yeah.
A model can't identify those situations.
Yeah.
So everybody's model is pricing those in.
All right, let's roll on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. This is a tricky one. Chicago Cubs, Arizona Diamondbacks. Cubbies 75-56, 37-29 on the road. Diamondbacks 69-62, 38-28 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We have Kevin Gossman on the hill. So I did break down his stats. I have his full year stats, of course. 6-11, 4.58 ERA, 4.03 expected ERA. He had 23 in 143 Ks and 143 in a third. He's allowed 18 home runs so far this year. He pitched 23 starts with the Jays. He went 5-10 with a 4.38 ERA and a 1.29 WHIP. He's had 3 starts with the Cubbies, and they haven't gone that well. 6.19 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Now, he's kept his K to walk ratio exactly the same. His last start, he was removed due to a left hand cramp. So he kept looking at his glove, and it was a very strange situation for him.
That's one you don't see often.
No. So his first start, I faded him. I bet the over on it, and he pitched well. We got the over, luckily. It was an over 9. It was 6-4 win at the Royals. Last 2 starts, he's gone a combined 9 innings. He's allowed 14 hits, 9 earned runs, 2 homers. He has struck out 12 and walked 3. Is he easier to cap than Merle Kelly? God, Merle Kelly screwed me this year. He missed the first few weeks with the back injury, and I really thought that he was going to find his way. And it looked like he had. Once we got to July, he had some really nice starts. His July was excellent. Then we flipped the card to August, and he's getting annihilated again. Last 2 starts at the Red Sox, now home versus the Rockies. He goes a combined 9 innings, allows 13 hits, 12 earned runs, 3 homers. He strikes out 4 and walks 7. Ugh. Diamondbacks bullpen 4.81 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Cubbies bullpen 3.04 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. When it comes to the sticks, very similar numbers. Cubbies versus righties 257.44 OPS. Diamondbacks versus righties 245, 730 OPS. Ricky Levine, by the way, saying his Angels first game back off a road trip. So they usually lose the first game back. He's staying off of them. We get to the line history here for Cubbies. Cubbies backs. I've not moved on this Cubbies snake spot. We've seen a 3-cent move to the under 9 minus 105 is now an under 9 minus 110. We get to the money line here for this spot. We have here we go. We have 18-cent move towards the Cubs from minus 120 to minus 138. We talk about the price difference for first 5 in full game here. We have the Cubbies minus 139 full game. First 5 minus 147, so 8 cents, very minimal here, which means that the Diamondbacks are plus 128 full game. First 5 plus 127, so no price difference there. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 88% of tickets and 83% of cash on the Cubs, 57% of tickets on the under, and 86% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here. Next spot on the board, Cubbies, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Gossman has just been hard to figure out here. I mean, so many base runners allowed. Look at his past, 5 starts, 9 hits, 5, 9, 4, 7, 7. At least a walk in each game, So base runners on the paths in every inning, 1 or 2 base runners. Only can't get through the 5 innings his last 2 games. And one was at Washington, and we know they can't. We just talked about them earlier. They're not hitting. So concern there for me on Gossman. Away, I know these are hard with home away since he was traded, but it's still a road start, 5.48 ERA. Second half of the season, his last 31 innings, a 320 batting average against, a 445 slugging, so almost an 800 OPS. A lot of cause for concern there. Does he bounce back? I don't know. Can be a tough lineup, Arizona at home. And then again, we get to Merrill Kelly, and you can say the same thing. I mean, 6 hits, 4 walks, 10 base runners his last game, 9 the game before that. He did pitch well against the Dodgers somehow, and then 9 base runners at Cleveland who don't get on base often. So it's just, to me, there's going to be runners on the paths in every inning of this game. I don't see why this is moving to the under. That's my concern, because I full transparency, I bet the over and I bet the Cubs. So I bet the over 9 and I bet the Cubs total first half over 2.5. Rare bet for me. It's moved a few cents in my favor. I think I got minus 104 on that. Cubs getting to Kelly is a given to me here. The way that they've been hitting, I'm confident in that. So yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned because my over 9 is getting bet the other way. I got minus 112 last night, and it's going down, and I can't explain it, which I hate being in that situation. So I feel uncomfortable with it. More bets on the over. This may be a very square bet, but I'm on the over 9.
I don't have more tickets on the under. On the over. I have the ticket 57 on the under, but all the cash on the over.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
So, yeah, that was what I was thinking when I was listening to it. I was like, how could 57% of tickets be betting Gossman and Kelly to pitch well here? I mean, it doesn't have to be a vividness bias. If this had moved to a 9.5, I'd know exactly what to do. But it's not done that.
And I mean, the Cubs are hitting, right? They're last 2 weeks, they're top 10 in weighted runs created plus OPS and WOBA. Last 30, they're top 6. On the season, they're top 6, and on the road, they're crushing. Last 30 days and full season. So, I think the safest bet in this is the Cubs get runs. What does Gossman do? Maybe Gossman shoves, and that's why we're seeing.
And this tough lineup at home is a little easier without Ketel Marte.
True.
Who's incredible. I mean, he can hit 2 home runs in his first at bats, and then bunt.
Yep,
and shock everybody. He's such a quality ball player, but I guess some other things going on with him. After this breakdown doesn't make me want to do anything on this game. I'm not.
I wish we were seeing movement on the over. That's.
Yeah, and I'd be on it. I would be on it.
Oh no, Deacon, I'm not on the Cubs money line. Just on them to score.
Let's roll on, because you are in this game as well. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. TJ got action here for Twins Athletics. We're at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California. Plus 29% runs, plus 39% homers, plus 17% doubles and triples, and plus 8 percent singles here. And we do have some over trends for that last game from Rod. Rod's got the bet over the total in Gossman road starts against NL West opponents. Over his record in his career, 11-0. That helps. We have Zebby Matthews here. Zebby Matthews, 5.12 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 4.68 expected ERA. You know, there are some pitchers that I guess I develop like a distaste for, and I can't get past it. And Zebby's hurt me when he's pitched well. I expect him to pitch poorly all the time. Now we have him on the road where he pitches poorly. But it's not been a resounding success fading him. He didn't look good at AAA St. Paul. He could have easily made this team out of spring training. He didn't come close to making them. He didn't look good last year in the major league level. I don't want much to do with him. He's going up against Jeffrey Springs, 6.02 ERA, 1.4 WHIP, 5.07 expected ERA. He spent the minimum amount of days on the 15-day IL with right hip discomfort. So that was, it wasn't, his last start was July 31st, and the hip discomfort didn't kind of arise till a little bit after that. So, but he spent 15 days on the IL. He came back August 19th, and he looked pretty good. And the market said he was going to look pretty good, and he looked pretty good. 2 earned runs over 5 2/3 at the Royals. But he has lost his last 11 straight decisions. He hasn't been credited with a win since April 14th. When it comes to the bullpens, A's bullpen, 6.24 ERA, 1.59 WHIP, being horrible. Twins bullpen has found its way. 3.38 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. When it comes to the sticks, Twins versus lefties, 266, 761 OPS. A's versus righties, 229, 673 OPS. Let's get into the line history. We've had a 22-cent move towards the Twins. It's a big one. Minus 130 to minus 152. There had been 15 cents of movement within the first hour and a half this was available, and then it just stopped moving, but it's moving again towards the Twins. When it comes to the total here for this one, we have a 10.5. There's been a 7-cent move to the over from, it's a full, it's gone from 10 to 10.5. Yep. I apologize, sorry. This has just been one-way traffic towards the over. There's not been one instance at BetOnline of buyback. It's only moved in the over's direction. 7 different moves towards the over, and not one time has it come back. When we get to the cash flow here for this spot, we have 80% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on Minnesota, 52% of tickets on the over, and 91% of cash on the over. TJ, take it away. You've moved on this one.
Yeah, I moved on this, and I like what I did here because the market is agreeing. Zebby Matthews off a good start is an auto fade to me right away. Not necessarily taking the other team, but expecting him to bounce back negatively. You look back at some of his good starts, and they, at Houston allows 1 run back in June, then gets hit up, can't get through 5 innings against the Yankees. There's just several instances of these 2 runs and then 7, 3 runs and then 7. So teams he seems to take a step back after a good start, and then on the road he's been terrible. 7.13 ERA compared to a 3.14 at home. Big difference there. He really struggles against lefties. Now, obviously, we don't have Kurtz. This lineup for the A's is mediocre at best, but they can stack a bunch of lefties out there. So I do have some conviction that the A's can get to Zebby a little bit here. And then, Springs, yeah, he can't get anybody out, it seems like. I know he is coming off. What did he do? Yeah, he's coming off a good outing at Kansas City.
But it was a non-arm related ailment.
It was, yeah.
And he's 33 off the top of my head, but he's an older veteran pitcher. I mean, that probably helps him in that regard.
Right.
I mean, who do you think's the more vulnerable pitcher on the mound?
I think they're both vulnerable, but probably Zebby.
Do you think this is out of that's moved too far now? That you got in at 10, right?
I got in at 10 last night, minus 120. Both bullpens. I know the Twins have been kind of middle of the pack. And do I believe in those numbers? Hard to say. We know the A's bullpen is terrible. They've given up on the season, it seems like. But I think if you can get a 10.5, I still like it. I think there's runs all day here. If you look at I had a point I was going to make here. Zebby's game logs, even in his last outings, he's just given up so many hits. 9, and then with the walks, the base runners, 4, 7, 6, 5, and then you add 2 or 3 walks to every game. So again, those situations where there's runners on base at Sutter Health, where the ball can fly, Give me a couple 2-3 run home runs here, and I think we get over this.
I find it very difficult to bet a 10.5 juice to the over when you got a 10 juice to the over. I mean, obviously the only thing that would be you get the push at 10 and I get the loss, and that is not a very high percentage possibility, but it's certainly a possibility.
Right. Keishel's hitting now. Buxton is back. I mean, Royce Lewis is hitting. It's going to be a tough lineup for Springs to get through.
Yeah, no, I like where you're at. I don't know. And it's funny because we talk about the subconscious and the biases that we have. When you told me the bet, my first thought was, God, trusting the A's sticks here. I mean, what the weak ass A's sticks. Like I went to right away a conditioned response based on what I'd been watching over the last few days, not about the individual situation that they have today in extremely offensive conditions against Zebi, who's vulnerable. Wow. Okay. Well, I might still join. Okay, let's roll. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got TJ here up from Virginia for our big Summit of Champions Woodbine Day. That was so magical. Let's roll on. Next ball on the board here, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Philadelphia Phillies, 73-58, 35-28 on the road at the Seattle Mariners, 62-69, 35-30 at home. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Minus 12% runs, minus 2% homers, minus 19% doubles and triples, and minus 8% singles here. Zach Wheeler, 10-4, 2.92 ERA, 1.01 WHIP, 2.79 expected ERA. So, the Mariners had gone to 6 starters for a long time of the year. Then this was supposed to be Woo's turn in the rotation.
Yeah, I was looking at Fangraphs has him going on Wednesday.
Who? Woo?
Woo.
So, they're worried about him. He's dealing with some ailment or whatever. But Gilbert doesn't usually only have 4 days off. So that we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's talk. And there you have Gilbert's rest here. I don't think it's a big deal. I just think that the lines might have been skewed a little bit. That's all. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. All right, let's talk about Zach Wheeler first. 2.92 ERA, 1.01 WHIP, 2.79 expected ERA. It was fun for the first time in my life fading Wheeler. I think, honestly, the first time in my life when he was having the foot on the rubber issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it, and I made some money, and I don't know if I ever... It's very hard to fade Wheeler. Look, he's a beast, and I think I just was fortunate that he was in his head during that time, because he's a great pitcher. And so even that last start, though, that 6-4 win at home versus Marlins wasn't that good. So he's now really had 3 starts and 4 of his last 5 starts that aren't that good. And it's actually his last 4 starts have not been that good because the one was a rain-shortened start. So I think
2 innings.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that he had 4 straight starts that aren't very good. But he still is Zach Wheeler, and now he's pitching in run-suppressing weather. We have Logan Gilbert on the other side, 3.35 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. He's coming off a good start at the Brewers. He did walk 4 batters, allowed 3 runs, so good starts a lot. But look, the Brewers are a tough team and a tough team to play at home. And I always think of Logan Gilbert. I'd rather have him at home. It doesn't show that at all with his statistical profile. You want him on the road, which But I mean, I think it's fair to say that these are 2 very good pitchers who aren't pitching very good right now. Mariners bullpen 6.44 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, being terrible. The Phillies bullpen 3.95 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. When it comes to the sticks, Phillies are hitting 264, 759 OPS versus righties. Look, I mean, you guys know that I don't want to talk about what happened the day before, but this is a team that has won 9 straight games. Now they're switching cities, which I still like to fade. Mariners bullpen 2.47 ERA, 709 OPS. We get to the line history here for this spot. We have a 6.5. Opened up at 6.5, slightly juiced to the over. There's been 8 cents of movement to the over 6.5. I mean, that's just so low, man. So low. I guess my totals are coming up a little slow here, so I'll just move right over to my money line spots are coming a little slow. I'll just move right to the cash flow. 82% of tickets, 87% of cash on Zach Wheeler. 82 and 87. 68% of tickets on the over, but 70% of cash on the under. And then when we get to this line move towards Gilbert, it's it's very very appealing. You know, we have the public all over Philadelphia. I don't see how I can not bet the Mariners in this market. And I know that that would be almost solely based on the market because of which has been going great. Those, well, even though I lost with the Twins on Friday, but so it is. I find quite a tricky game. And here we go. So we have the Mariners minus 101 full game. First five minus 112 against Zach Wheeler. Come on, that's crazy.
Yeah, depends on the book. They have Philly still favored at circa. It's close. FanDuel. There's some books that have Philly still favored, but some have flipped to Seattle first five.
Well, take it away. I can't wait to hear your analysis.
Oh, this is one of those bets where you make the night before. You think you broke down the game right, and you wake up and you know it's a loss. That's kind of how I feel with Philly here. I am on the money line at a bad price, minus 114. And the reason I made this bet is Wheeler against teams that don't see him often, right? So I know he got hit up by Miami. Toronto's the only team in the AL that's got to him. So all these interleague games, you know, Detroit 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Go back to Toronto the first time, 6 innings, 1 run. Cleveland doesn't get to him at all over 6. Boston doesn't get to him in 8 or 7 and a third. So I like Wheeler against teams that don't see him often. You know, Miami's a constant. They see each other all the time. So I can write some of that off. But, you know, the St. Louis start is obviously concerning. And like you said, he was in his head during that time, which is so weird for a veteran pitcher to have stepping on the mound issues. He's been doing it for so long. But Seattle, I just don't trust them. I don't trust their bats. I haven't all season. Gilbert at home, you would think would be better, but for some reason he's better on the road. He has pitched 150 innings this year after going 131 last year, but that's not anywhere near where I'm concerned with arm fatigue for him yet. It's the market here that has me concerned because I like the Phillies to keep rolling. I am a streak better in baseball. When a team gets hot, I like to jump on them for several games.
Yeah. So is Pete Rose. How'd that work for him?
Well, he made lots of money and kind of lost it all.
No, but I've watched you succeed doing that.
Yeah,
so
and I've done it with the Mariners, and I haven't, or the Brewers a lot, but I haven't been on Philly, and I feel like I missed the boat, and I might be late to the party here. But I wouldn't take my advice on this game to the bank.
You know, TV John says Mariners bats have come alive a bit. Wheeler struggling a bit. Mariners just got embarrassed. Got to have some pride here. Turnbuckle Tommy says, I bet them as soon as I seen Wheeler's a minus 115 favorite. Says, I don't think there's anything tricky about it. There's certainly nothing tricky about the market.
Yeah,
like
everybody's betting Philly.
Yeah, like the market makes it sound real easy to get on the Mariners. And then, but I don't even know if I'd want, it's the tricky part is betting it. Like, I would prefer to bet the full game here, but then you have to deal with the Mariners bullpen that's just being annihilated at
terrible.
times. So but then do you want to just focus on fading Zach Wheeler? Like, I don't know if I want to do that either here. Shout out to our guy Arthur Mead Jr. in the house. OG low bagger run with us since our Costa Rica days. Says stay away from the side. Something's wrong with Wheeler. So I believe the same issue. He's on the over 6.5.
But that's the thing. Why is it 6.5? I think something was wrong with Wheeler.
Oh, I think these guys are going to pitch well today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 6.5.
And the money and the line moving to Seattle is so scary.
I mean,
Gilbert probably shoves.
Gilbert probably shoves. I mean, the Suarez Alcantara opens up at 7, goes right up to 7.5. This one opens up at 6.5 and stays there.
Right. Now we know run suppressing and obviously, but with that Seattle bullpen, it's pretty scary having them a full game.
Yeah. I wonder if so I guess it's Mariners first 5. Can you believe that? Just focusing, isolating Wheeler.
Wow.
But if the magic comes from the Phillies, it wouldn't surprise anybody if that magic came late.
No, not at all. It's probably the most likely scenario.
Wow. Okay, and then the first 5 under 3.5 at minus 120.
3.5?
Yeah.
2.5. Oh, 3.5 first 5. I thought you were giving me first 3.
No, first 5.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a 2-1 ball game is definitely, a 1-1 is definitely in the cards.
Yeah.
3.5 is so low.
I
gotta see how Gilbert does second time and third time through the order.
I think Just run over here quickly and just see what that price is on the first 3 under 2.5. It should be a 1.5, right? Yeah, it's 1.5 plus
Yeah.
105 to the under. So if you compare that to what the sale Mizorowski stuff, that was 365 was 1.5 minus 115 to the under. I mean, what do you find more appealing? That first 3 under 1.5 at plus money, or the first 5 under 3.5 minus 120?
Probably the first 5.
Yeah,
Give
same
me
here.
2 extra runs.
And also, these pitchers can get
They
stronger.
find their form. Yeah.
Okay, well that's what I think I'm investing. Mariners first 5 and first 5 under. All right.
Yeah, he's solid first time through the order, second time, third time. All the numbers are similar, so he doesn't tire out.
And Matty Ice bet this interesting SGP first 5 under 4.5 parlayed with Seattle first 5 plus 1.5. All right, I like it. That was a fun breakdown. Great work, everybody. Okay, let's roll on. And thank you so much for the dono, Arthur Mead, my man. All right, and we roll on. Next ball on the board for us, we head to Petco Park in San Diego, California. Pittsburgh Pirates 63 and 69, 29 and 37 on the road at the Padres 71 and 60, 40 and 26 at home. We have minus 5% runs, plus 7% homers, minus 20% doubles and triples, and minus 3% singles. Braxton Ashcraft, and man, I've been just letting the market tell me what to do in these Ashcraft starts. And it's only been 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want him after that start on Thursday, August 8th, when he allowed 4 earned runs and 2 bombs. He had 5 straight starts where he hadn't gotten out in the 6th inning. Oh, wait, no, 1 start he did, sorry. But he wasn't going deep. He wasn't pitching well, but the market said, look, he's going to shove here. And I was like, okay, sure. And so I bet him, and he went complete game and 10 strikeouts. And my X's and O's wouldn't have taken me there. It was just that the market did. And then the following start, August 18th, 8 innings, 1 earned run. And again, I didn't really want him. I was like, what's he going to do? How's he going to follow up the complete game? And the book said, okay. So, and the books have done that again.
Yep, 17 innings pitched, 1 walk.
They've done that
2
again.
hits.
Alondo's hot Swedish girlfriend play today is in. I will copy and paste that right now. His Aaron is looking at the first 3 under here for this spot. Sorry, let me just get this copied and pasted here. And move up to the top. With this spot here, I just thought, keep it simple, stupid. The books are making Ashcraft so expensive. Forget what kind of bias I have regarding Robbie Ray and Robbie Ray's, who's been really good in the second half of the year. Just trust what the books are telling me. Now, this was an extremely expensive. So the line immediately moved, towards the Pirates, and this was a big dog to favorite line move. Ashcraft 3.68 ERA, 1.08 WHIP on the year, 3.37 expected ERA, and then you have Robbie Ray. So Robbie Ray, when he was a Giant, had a 3.08 ERA, 1.29 WHIP with a 4.60 expected ERA. He's had 3 starts with the Padres, 4.20 ERA, 1.53 WHIP. And the thing that jumps out at you is 10 strikeouts and 11 walks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just strange. I can't really figure out exactly why he's done it. But the 3 starts he had, his last 2 starts as a Giant were spectacular. And he's gotten better every start as a Padre. First one was at home versus the Astros. They got to him. The second start was at home over the Brewers. And he only made it through 4 innings. And then he got to face the Mets at Citi Field. We backed him, and he pitched very, very well. The Pirates aren't hitting lefties, but, I mean, just trust the books here. Padres bullpen 2.75 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. Pirates bullpen 3.32 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Padres versus righties 273, 773 OPS. They're hitting hard. Padres versus righties. Pirates versus lefties just 217, 600 OPS. Honestly, if I'm left alone to my own just X's and O's and I'm not looking at the market at all, I don't run to the window like I did last night to back Ashcraft. But I ran to the window to do that. This line opened up at plus 118. It's now minus 105. So this did get up to minus 109 at 3 in the morning. Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong way. This is actually the high water mark, tied with the high water mark. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong Padres spot. So this has gone from plus 118 to minus 105. So we had a 23-cent move towards the Pittsburgh Pirates. And when we get to the total here in this spot, we have a 7.5 with no movement, minus 115 to the under. So it's not moved at all. I could get involved in this total here, and I thought that this could be a possibility when we talk it out. We have 54% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the Padres. 63% of tickets on the over, 58% of cash on the under. So I guess it's just a 50-50 proposition, which I don't need weighted coin flips here. I don't look. I'm a very high volume bettor, but I want to have a conviction on the side. I don't want to just be like, well, this kind of makes some sense. Now the 7.5 minus 116 here and plus 103 to the over at penny. The price difference for the Pirates minus 105 full game, and then minus 103 full game, and first 5 minus 131. Wow.
Yeah, you have to bet it.
I got minus 119 last night here at penny. It was minus 140 at the time, 365. And then I woke up this morning and it was minus 135. It had gone against me. But that must have changed, right? That's got to have changed now. Let me just quickly see this, and then I'll hand it over to you here. That's got to have changed. So here I've got Ashcraft, first 5 is minus 135. Wow. Wow, it's weird that 365 would be sort of off market there. Take it away for the spot, though. I'm on the Pittsburgh Pirates first 5. I'm wondering if I should get more involved in the total.
Yeah, I think that anybody seeing this, right, would expect Robbie Ray to shut down the Pirates because you look at what the Pirates have done offensively, and it's not impressive against lefties at all. Ray's, like you said, been improving his last 2 starts. You would think it'd be a comfortable spot for him, but I can't avoid the market here in the Ashcraft. And I said it last time. You've been saying it, like the market tells us what he's going to do. You look, San Diego's been hitting righties
Hard.
I mean, they've been hitting them hard. I mean,
Yeah.
Tatis is hot, and San Diego's I think has the first or second best record second half of the season, and Pittsburgh's going the other way, and yet we get minus 130, minus 135 first half to back Ashcraft. I mean, they're just telling you what to do here. So easy for people to click on San Diego, just so easy. And I'm also interested in the full game under, because even
Look at these bullpens.
bullpens are fine. Mason's gone 2 of the last 3, but he'll go. They got to win games. He'll go if they're in a safe situation. So I'm not concerned there. Pittsburgh's bullpen top 7 the last 30 days. They've slipped off a little bit of late, but San Diego, after starting the year bad, has been one of the best bullpens in baseball. No concern there. I like the full game under, not as much as I have Pittsburgh first 5 minus 120. So I'm happy with that bet. I don't want to trust Pittsburgh full game, but I'll definitely take that first 5. And I feel the same exact way you do. I don't want him and Haw.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. TV Jones says Ray hasn't been sharp since he got the San Diego walk machine, giving up contact and struggling. Ashcraft is Pittsburgh's best chance to win, and the Pirates bullpen's completely ready to rock, begging for San Diego money. Yeah, I agree. I agree with all this. So then I wonder if I don't want to muddy it by adding a total. Turnbuckle Tommy says this will be the 3rd straight game Pirates see a left-handed pitcher too.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't think about that. That could keep me off the full game under.
That's an important point.
Because Ray can get blown up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in his repertoire.
I don't think I want to muddy it up.
But he can also shove. So it's Ray's a tough cap. I'm going to trust the market.
Yeah, and now at this point, I have a 1 unit on the Pirates. I would almost want to bet less than a unit on the total,
so that you still end up a winner.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not mad at yourself. Or it's better to not lose than to win.
Yeah.
In my
So,
opinion.
okay, I've got more to think on that spot here. Let's roll on. Next spot on the board for us is Reds Giants, and we talked about this game before we got into the studio here. It's a really, really interesting spot. This was a spot that Spoons was all over the first 3 under 2.5, and he got a minus 125. When it opened up at 365, it was minus 160. We're Oracle Park in San Francisco, California, minus 3% runs, minus 17% home runs, even for doubles and triples, and plus 8% singles. T-Moss says he doesn't see where the Giants' runs come from. We were like, why aren't we already on the first 5 minus a half? Because that wasn't part of our initial action. And Manbear Pig on Giants money line here. Chase Burns 14-2, 2.51 ERA, 1.11 WHIPs, got 3.01 expected ERA. He suffered like a tight right groin during that start, July 8th, before the All-Star break. We don't know if it really happened. He just needed a break, and it's fine. I think it's totally valid. Like, I respect it. I don't even if he's lying about his injury, to take a break and not pitch in the All-Star game because he's worried about him, delivering second half of the year. I totally respect that. So, then what we saw post All-Star break, he wasn't going deep into games, and it's still a bit of an issue for him. I'm not entirely sure why he's only had one start where he went over 6. He's only had 2 starts where he went over 5 and a third.
I think they're protecting him a little.
3 of his 6 starts post All-Star break, he's gone just 5. Coming off 5-4 win at home versus Cardinals, 2 earned runs over 5, struck out 8 and walked 2. Carson Wisenhunt, on the other hand, 7.03 ERA, 1.84 WHIP, 6.34 expected ERA. I mean, the fact that he's starting, and Kyle Harrison is on the Brewers. I mean, what is this team doing? What the hell are they doing? It doesn't make so many decisions don't make sense to me. Ditching Robbie Ray at the deadline is a great move, right?
Right.
He's a vet, but why are they not? Why they're giving up on these young pitchers, but believing in some of these guys like Wisenhunt? Wisenhunt splits are a mess, and I know you're going to talk about that. Last start, 4 innings, 6 earned runs, 7 total, 6 earned. He has had 1 good start over his last 5 starts. Hard to now. Here is a chance for him to have a good start. The Reds are not hitting lefties. 213, 593 OPS. It's abhorrent. Giants are 242, 717 versus righties. When it comes to the bullpens, Giants bullpen 3.70 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Reds bullpen 3.74 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. So the issue here, and what we need to touch on, is do we look past what the Reds do against lefties? And that's tricky. I mean, here the total was 8 minus 120 to the over as an opener, and now it's a 7.5 minus 121 to the under. So it's a huge move. And that just moved 6 cents, by the way. It's a huge move towards the under. From a money line standpoint here, we have a 15-cent move towards Chase Burns from minus 140 to minus 155. That's also a bet online. And then when we talk about the line difference here, we have the Reds minus 156 full game. First 5 minus 179, so nice 23-cent difference. Now that first 5 minus half is minus 116.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, a little bit. It was minus 113.
Yep.
So it's moved 3 cents since we started talking about it. When we get to the cash flow, you would have to think that this would be the most public spot on the board. And it's got 89% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the Reds, 70% of tickets on the over, and 87% of cash on the over. Keep it simple, stupid, or do you want to overthink this?
I'm not going to overthink this one. We talked about it before, and I'm not sure what kept me off pulling the trigger earlier. I think it was just a lack of lines available last night to get the minus half. But bet online's moved to 10 cents. Several other books have moved to 10 cents, 8 cents on the minus a half to Cincinnati here. I don't see how the Giants get to Burns. I think he throws. The only thing that is keeping me off the Reds full game also is, well, one's the price, but 2, I think they're protecting him just a little bit. I don't think they want him to go 7 innings. I think 6 is probably the max we see out of him, just because we're getting towards the latter half of the season. They're obviously their star. They want to come back with a nice staff next year with Green coming back. Giants, or I know they're not hitting lefties, but they've kind of faced a gauntlet here. Erod, who's been on fire, right? Liberatore, they got to a little bit, but then Alvarez, Lopez, who's been pretty solid for the A's at home, Cantillo, Imanaga, Luzardo, Rogers. So they faced kind of the gauntlet of left-handed pitchers here. They got to Boyd and they got to Liberatore. Those are only 2 that they fits. Wisenhunt is not in the class of any of those guys on that list. He can't get out a righty to save his life. 946 OPS, 1.80 WHIP, and he's going to face 7, probably 8 of them. I think the Reds, I don't think they're going to light them up per se. I kind of do like that first 3 under because I don't believe San Francisco's going to get any runs off Burns. But minus a half to me is just we get two. If we get 3 out of the Reds, it's a win. 2 is still most likely to win. And I do believe they can get to Wisenhunt for that. This guy gives me no confidence at all. I don't think he should be a starting pitcher right now. So
the market would give you a lot of confidence.
The market does.
Because, it's just...
But it moving to the under, does that mean Wisenhunt can go pitch 5 innings of 2-3-1 ball? I think we still win the minus a half on the bet. Obviously, Burns, the market's saying Burns is going to push here.
Well, if we add, and I've got it set up and loaded up here, but if I press the button on the Reds' first 5 minus a half, we are rolling with Billy Friedrich in the Pig Milk play of the day.
My favorite play of the day.
The play of the day from Billy Friedrich is the Reds' first 5 minus a half.
If anyone can find that lady dancing,
Oh, yeah.
please.
We'll get it down to San Antonio.
Yep.
We have we're in business here. TJ, it's been wonderful having you break down the Major League Baseball card in person,
Yeah, man.
right
Great
beside
to
me.
be here.
Please review your MLB action for Monday, August 24th.
We are on Washington -1, -130. Washington first half -0.5, -130. I did not move on the White Sox. That was a maybe. We are Chicago, Arizona over 9. A bet that's kind of moving against me. Chicago Cubs first half over 2.5 runs, team total. Pittsburgh first 5 money line -120. I think that's probably the best bet of the day. Minnesota, actually, this is Minnesota over 10. I'm seeing 11s come up right now as we speak. So across the board, it's moving to 11s. Philly -114. That one gives me cause for concern. I have 2 ads based on today's show. That's Miami first 5 money line and Cincinnati first 5 -0.5. And that is my action for the day.
Sounds good. Good looking card. Colorado, Washington, first 3 under 2.5 for me. Colorado, Washington, first 5 under 4.5. Cleveland, LA, first 3 under 2.5. Cleveland, LA, first 5 under 4.5. And the Pirates, first 5. For the additions, I like Marlins, first 5. I expect to now add. I'll go over all of these and all the notes and all the market and decide what to invest in. I'll put it right in the Discord and then I'll post it on X. But I think I'm gonna leave the Nats first 5 -0.5 alone. With my concern about their sticks here, and I'm still I'm okay
You're
with
invested
it all.
in it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it all. The Urquidy situation I still got to sit with for longer. Does make me uncomfortable. And then that Cubbies, can I still? I don't know. I'm not gonna bet 11, so I'll need a 10.5. In the Twins A's game, 10.5. Sorry, no, we're not moving on to over because that one's moving towards the under, which doesn't quite make sense in that one. This is just screaming over the Twins A's that you're on. Oh, yeah. Mariners first 5 and the first 5 under 3.5. I will be adding those. Then we have the. I don't know if I'm going to move on the first 5 under or full game. I certainly would only move on 1 in Pirates San Diego. I just feel so good about the Pirates first 5. I don't really want to add anything to it. And then the final spot there is I will add the Reds first 5 -0.5.
Yeah, I like it. If you didn't get that 10.5 on the A's, you're too late. Late to the party.
Damn it. Well, that is the situation here for Monday, August 24th. Thank you so much for
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Pub Sports, love you guys. Everyone in the chat, thanks for always supporting. And get up here next year and get to Pubapalooza, probably more importantly of the two.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, pub is more important, but if you're close to Toronto to come out back some of the champions. All right, I'll catch you in a bit.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right,
Take care, guys.
all right. There he is, TJ in the house. For those of you that don't follow TJ on X, please do. Let me just move this over to this one here. Please follow our guy TJ. Support our guy TJ. Let's get into the WNBA being very, very good to us. Very, very, very good to us. So let's get right to work here, right to business in the WNBA. We have 2 games in the WNBA, and then we will be moving over to then we'll put a bow on the proceedings and hammer tomorrow's card. What am I saying? Then we'll move over. So let's roll. Let's roll. 2 games in the WNBA. Toby Lane has come in and already told us that the Valkyries +7 for him. Says Minnesota are 0-2 against the spread coming back home from road trips this season, and they're missing Williams, and they won the 3 matchups against the season, smashed the Valkyries. Look, I agree with that sentiment the whole time. My thought process was just when. When do we move on it? That was where I was concerned. And let's get into the point spread right now. We have 26 minutes before Medicate Monday pops off. So Valkyrie right now are +4.5. So I guess the Gabby news came out. God, it was 6.5 this morning. I can't bet at 4.5. That's my fault. And this was just clearly moving towards the over. That's why when Toby said he got the 7, I thought, oh my God, I guess 7s are available now. Justin McKelvey has the 6.5 in the pocket. So one thing about these, when you chase line moves, on Friday with the Lynx Mystics game, I think it was Lynx. Was it Lynx Mystics? But it moved down to 2 because Fee was out. And I didn't want to just bet a bad line. Well, the Lynx won by 10 in that game. in chasing blinds is just always going to hurt you in the end. Always being in the ass end of a line will always hurt you. There'll be some spots that are so good, that it doesn't matter. But Olivia Miles, she's in. It's just Gabby Williams that's out. Here, I'll go over to my whole breakdown first, and then we'll talk about the spots here. So the Valkyries coming off their second straight loss, 73-70 at the Sky on Friday. 25-11, 10-6 on the road. Lynx 31-7, 14-5 at home. We're at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Veronica Burton was the only Valkyrie started to reach double digits. I mean, clearly they were focused on this basketball game coming up. But Gabby Williams left the game, about 2.5 minutes into the second half, did not return. So she went 0 of 6 from the field and played 14 minutes. Sorry, I said Gabby Williams wasn't playing. Sorry, I'm tripping out. I was, I don't know. It's Williams. Courtney Williams is the one playing. Courtney Williams from Minnesota. Gabby was just benched. She was just benched. And this was a very, very angry coach after the game. So Gabby Williams was benched after 14 minutes, all-star. So they had their 6-game winning streak snapped at home by the Lynx on Wednesday, 77-66. The Lynx have won all 3 games versus Valkyries this year, as Toby was talking about. The Lynx coming up their 6th straight win, 16th in their last 17 games, defeating the Mystics in Washington 94-84. Fee didn't play. It didn't matter. Olivia Miles went for 24. Howard went for 21 on 10 of 12 shooting, 7 boards, 5 assists, 3 blocks. McBride went for 18. But again, Courtney Williams, 13 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. And she can't play. She's unavailable, listed out already for tonight. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot here. We have 83% of the tickets on Minnesota and 89% of cash on Golden State. Look, those of you guys that got the 6.5 or the 7, you're in great shape. I think you're in great shape. But I'm not going to move on the 4.5. So I'll have to see some market buyback, and I probably won't let it concern me too much if it does come. But I think you guys are in great shape. It's so messed up, man. The line's moving towards the line's moving towards Minnesota, going up to 6.5, and now we're at 4.5. So, not good. AM's going to be on the Lynx -5.5. Robert Cherry in the house. Great to see you, my man. He's on Lynx money line and Miles over 25.5 PRA. Dream money line and Reese 25 plus PRA, and that's his 4-leg Pamper Pop parlay of the day from our guy Robert Cherry. All right, AM is saying that the line will bounce back, so that would be helpful if it does, and we'll wait to get that, information there. All right, let's move on to the final spot on the board in the WNBA. And, at this point, we are running hotter in WNBA than I've ever run. So, and also, I meant to put TJ's X handle here in the chat. Let me just, for all of you to just cap MLB with him, please follow him on X and support our guy. TJ there is his X handle right there. Okay, let's roll on to the next spot on the board here. Atlanta Dream at the LA Sparks. Dream 24-13, 12-7 on the road at LA Sparks, 13-24, 6-12 at home. Crypto.com Arena in LA, California. I got just too caught up in the horses and too caught up with everything. I didn't bet the Sparks after losing by 30 plus points. They opened up as 3.5-point favorites. They closed as bigger favorites than that, and they won by 8. It's just a phenomenal bet in basketball, whether it's WNBA or NBA. I don't know if it's I don't think it works the same in college basketball, but it's certainly something I still like in college basketball. We're at Crypto.com Arena here in Los Angeles, California. So the Sparks just got absolutely annihilated by Atlanta Dream. Annihilated, 124-88. That 124 points was a franchise record for the Atlanta Dream. Let's get into the line history here. We have the Dream going from -9 to -10.5. It's too bad there was a game in between. From a total stand, we have a 183. That's now a 181.5. We get to the cash flow here. We have 55% of the tickets on LA, but 92% of cash on Atlanta. 67% of tickets on the under and 62% of cash on the under. I want to fade Atlanta. After what they did there, I want to fade them bad. They had a game in between, too. Their 3rd straight win, 99-89 at the Mercury on Saturday. This is the final game of a 4-game road trip. So Angel Reese went 9 for 9 from the field, hit 2 threes. Come on. What world are we living in when she's Steph Curry? 20 points, 10 boards, 8 assists. That's the 25th double-double of the season. She set a dream record for field goals without a miss, became the third player in WNBA history with a 20-point double-double on 100% shooting. And the double-double record in WNBA is Alyssa Thomas's 28 from 2023. This is the final game of four-game road trip. Ray Burrell scored 20 points, and the LA Sparks ended a six-game losing streak with a 77-68 win over Connecticut Sun on Saturday night. Ogumake, who of course announced her retirement, had 11 points and 11 boards. That's her 131st career double-double. Wheeler had 11. Hamby had 10, but Hamby was ejected for a flagrant, which we all love to see. LA, which allows 93.6 points per game, 93.6, slow down a Connecticut offense that's terrible. So I don't want to put too much into that. It's too bad they had a game in between because you'd want them to face Atlanta again immediately. Against Connecticut, a team that can't score, the Sparks still turned the ball over 25 times. So they've lost the first two meetings with the Dream this year. Are they going to lose another one? Justin McKelvey, Dream Sparks over 181.5. I would like to bet the Sparks. I would like to bet the Sparks here. And I think I can do it. I just need to be patient and wait here. Is there a chance? I guess it's a Monday. There's not much of a chance they're going to go out and party afterwards. The Dream players. But they are in LA, and they're all finishing their road trip and flying back home. Yeah, I have interest in the Sparks now. I don't know if I can get there. And I was looking at the schedule, and we know they have this FIBA World Cup break. I was sitting back going, do we even come back to the WNBA? I mean, I've got my futures on the Lynx at plus 650, but I was like, do we even, it's going to be football season? College football, NFL, it'll be NHL, and then be around the corner, and then, the WNBA comes back? And we've had such a monster season in it. So I am not entirely sure how we're going to handle WNBA after the break here. But sitting here, 76 and 54 at 58.5% plus 15.24 units, ROI plus 11.72%, average line minus 112. It sounds pretty good until I think about Slatsy's CFL record. So I'm interested in the Sparks. If this line does move back to a 6 for the Valks, I'll join you guys on the Valks, and I won't let it concern me too much that it can come back. There's our guy, Dennis Garcia, in the house after 9 years of capping with Dennis Garcia. It was wonderful to meet him in person. It was so wonderful to put a face to the name and someone's thought process within sports gambling that I respect so much. It was wonderful. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I was just staring at him everywhere I went. Just, 10 years wondering what he looks like.
Jimmy was just in a trance. Like, he showed up, and Jimmy, for a good 5 minutes, didn't say a word. He's just staring at this.
Well, that is our show for today. Let's review the specialty plays of the day here. We have Stacks play today. Number 1, Detroit Tigers, plus 120. Number 2, Buxton over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, plus 115. Pig Milk play today. Reds first 5 minus a half at minus 120. Toby Lane's play today. Chelsea moneyline and Valkyries plus 7 here. Turnbuckle Tommy's play today. Texas Chicago White Sox over 8. Says White Sox are now 26-6 to the over 8 in game 1 of a new series. BJ's best bet, the Seattle Mariners. Flank stake play today. The Guardians on the run line. He's also on the Valks plus 5.5 and the Sparks plus 9.5. The shotgun play of the day from Ronnie Crawford. The shotgun play today is the Chicago Cubs minus 1 from our guy Ronnie Crawford. The hot Swedish girlfriend play of the day is the Twins money line here. Twins money line is the hot Swedish girlfriend play of the day. That is our show for today. Robert Cherry, you'll see DJ Big Boss rocking with us. He's doing great, man. All is well for DJ Big Boss out in LA. So you'll see him running with us. When Max, when we stopped doing our show when I was down in Parkdale together, we never spoke again. So I don't know how he's doing. I wish him the best, but we've never spoken again. So I can't wish him the best, but I don't know how he's doing. So there will never be updates in that regard. I only live like a couple blocks away from him, but I mean, the one thing about life is you get to choose who you want to be friends with, and if somebody doesn't want to, be friends with me. I'm 46. Everything's gonna be just fine, But love you guys all so much. So Geobed, Robert Cherry, AM, Turnbuckle Tommy, Dennis Garcia, Billy Friedrich, Dewan Turrentine, Sick from the Fall, Alex Cruz, Ayo, D, AM, Bogey Boy. Bogey Boy, I've got some ideas, some good spots too. Are you going to be, let me know if you're going to be in downtown Toronto, or you're going to be up where I am at like Yonge and Finch area, like up north of the city. Ken Mizrahi, all of you guys, thank you so much. Wine Time Sports, Cuban Connect, Turnbuckle Tommy, Spooner, Sharpie, Jermaine Kong, TV Jones, T-Moss, Man Bear Pig. Thank you guys so much. Have a great time. Great time with the Daily Sesh. Medicate Monday. Medicate Monday's here. Thank you so much to our guy TJ for rocking with us. I thought he was excellent as always. I love capping with him. Thank you to Swiggy on the 1s and 2s. Now let's go out there and let's get this shmoney, man. Let's go out there and get this shmoney, man. Let's milk these bookies, man. Leche! Hey, los bookmakers.
It's easier to sleep in the black. When you're losing your ass and feeling so, you know what to do. Tune in to Pop Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam, Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.